where you might. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you might be. My name is Prudence Chirunga Banda, your facilitator in the events management course. Welcome to this channel. Today we are actually diving into the introduction of events management. Last week we actually ran through our syllabus or what we are going to anticipate in this course. So today we start now diving into our syllabus. So in this course we are actually, in this module we are actually going to define events management, and we are also going to look into the history and evolution of events management, and we are also going to look at the types of events, and then we are also going to look at the career paths in events management. So for the next 2 to 3 days, this is what we are going to be looking at. So at the end of this module, you're supposed to have understood what events management is, and you should have actually understood the events management industry and its history, and also the various types of events that we have, and also the career paths that are actually available in events management. So when we look at, let's now look at the definition of events management. So when we talk about events management, it's basically the planning, coordination, and also the management of any event, be it a conference, a wedding, a festival, or any form of gathering. So when you look at any given event, you are actually supposed to plan it, you are actually supposed to coordinate it and manage it. So when we look at events management, you find that there are actually 3 stages of an event, right? Take for example, when you jump into a pool, there are actually 3 stages of the pool, where you find the shallow, then the middle shallow, and also the deep end. It's the same applies with the events management, but it doesn't have a formula that you jump from shallow, medium to deep end. Sometimes you can start with the deep, shallow, then you jump from the deep end, medium, and shallow, or you can start from the shallow, medium, and deep end. So the 3 categories or the 3 stages that we have in events management are basically the planning stage, and we also have the coordinating stage, and we also have the planning stage. So when we talk about the planning, this is when you actually put your things, that's when you define a goal or the objective for that event, and then you also establish a budget, you pick the venue and the date, you develop the event branding, you plan the program, you confirm with the sponsors, exhibitors, and speakers, you identify and select the tech tools, and you also create a marketing and promotional plan for that event. And then when you are done with that, you now go to the next stage, which is actually the stage where you are supposed to coordinate or organize the people that you are actually going to work with. So at this stage, you build a team that you're going to work with, or you can in layman's language, you can say you actually identify vendors that you work with for this particular event. And then once you pick your vendors, you make sure you sign a contract with them. You tell them what you are actually anticipating from them. At the end of the day, you share the goal and objective of that event that you'll be holding, so that they can also buy into the vision and or buy into the goal and objective of the event. When you have done that, now you have put your plan, you have planned, and now you have established the team that you are actually coordinating. And now we go to the last part of the event, where you actually manage or you execute the event. So this actually starts maybe a week before the event, or 2 days, or a day before, but it is all to do with the management of that you have planned, and that you have actually organized. So you'll be now putting everything under one roof, whereby you now bring the caterer in one there, the deco people there, the speakers are there, the guests are there, the DJ is there. You get it? Like, now you put all the things under one roof, and now you manage it so that you can actually be able to define the objective of that gathering. To define the objective of that gathering. So events management is all about making sure that you execute these three parts into details. Because if you miss anything, especially on the planning and organizing or as coordinating stage, you you can actually have difficulties in managing or executing that event, because you wouldn't have fully done what you were supposed to do before. There's no way that you can, suppose you're having, take for example, you're having a party today. You start planning that party today. Do you think that party can be a success? It can be, but trust me, there will be a lot of downs more than the ups. So you might need maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week, to give yourself time to plan for that. But as you go further as events managers, trust me, you can actually manage to plan a party maybe within 24 hours or even less. So having understood the definition and the scope of events management, let us now look at the history and the evolution of events management. How did events management start? When we look back, we can actually see that events management has always been there. It started off as simple gatherings, and now to complex and sophisticated gatherings that we have. So when we look at the ancient times, we see that we had events like the Olympics and cultural festivals and celebrations that were held. Those things were actually planned, and there was actually events management that was going on. But the difference, if we compare to what is happening these days, we just see the difference is there's a difference in the way the planning is done, the coordination and the execution is actually done. But when we look in the ancient times, events planning was already there, and there were some events that were actually being planned. And then we move on to this 20th century. You can now see that there was actually a rise in in the events industry. More events were now being planned. You can see that there were a lot of conferences happening. There were trade shows and corporate functions, not forgetting also the social functions. They were now being done in a different way. And then now we come to the 21st century, where we see the industry has become more sophisticated and advanced. There's a lot of technology, and there are a lot of experimental events going on. So when you look back, you can actually see that events management has always been there. But the only difference is that things are actually changing, and the manner in which things are being done is different. We'll give an example of the weddings. When we look back, we will see that the people who were actually in charge of planning these events were usually the aunties, the uncles, the mothers and the fathers. And then after that, you see the coming in of the wedding committees to help. These can be either friends or family members. Then slowly, when we are looking, especially in our Africa setup, you find that now we are now having wedding planners, people who actually understand events management, people who understand these 3 stages that I've talked about, which is the planning, the coordinating stage, and also the management stage. So now you find that most of these weddings these days, they would rather have a certified or somebody who understands events to actually be a wedding planner, rather than using the committee, the wedding committee, or the mothers and the fathers and the aunties actually planning the wedding. So you can actually see that there's actually been a change, and there's actually changes still going on. Because when we look into the industry, we'll see that in 15 years' time, trust me, most people will be opting to use wedding planners or event managers for their weddings, because it's stress-free. And they will actually bring the new technology that most of the people don't understand, the new trends, and they'll make the event more interesting and make it more memorable. So today we stop here. We've actually discussed on 2 things. We have actually introduced the definition of events management, and we have also looked at the history and the evolution of events management. So thank you for listening. See you in the next lesson. Have a blessed day. Thank you.